with the steering wheel that you see on the box. That that's cost me 2K. That's 2 grand. But it's worth every penny. Yeah, a while ago I was able to find a video on YouTube for a guy that was using this wheelbase, and he kind of went through the setup of the steering wheel on the wheelbase, and after I got that all dialed up, it it makes so much different driving. It's unbelievable. Hey, it's always the start point, right? Yeah, I I race go karts pretty much all my life. Yeah, yeah. Um, I I will always love to do that, but family and all the stuff and money was the family was first, and my after my son started growing up, he uh, when he reached the age that he was able to start racing go-karts, that's when I just quit racing myself and I started just be his crew chief and take care of his car. And we run here in California what they call International Car Federation.
Hmm.
And he was when he was running junior one, from 8 to 12. On the second year driving, he won two local championship here in on the area. He finished second in the Northern California regional season, and
Wow.
he was doing good. But as soon as you start getting older and you start going higher and higher in classes, it's getting expensive and expensive. And I tell him, dude, I love you so much, but it's so much I can do. And so you had to go to college, and I prefer you put you to college. As,
Right. Yeah. So, what is the next step then? I mean, what would be the next level up for you if you were to?
for me is to me I think is what the top that I need. If for the type of driving and racing that I do, I think it's I don't know, maybe change the pedals in the future, but I don't see that really near future. And those B3 pedals that I have, I put the kit on it on the brake. I mean, when you apply the brake, it's like you apply the brake on a car. I mean,
Hmm.
the brake feels hard like a rock when you press it because it has the low cell uh, on it.
Yeah, I've been wanting to figure out. Yeah, I've been wanting to test the load cell brakes against what I'm using, which these Logitech G29 brakes. These things have no resistance whatsoever. So,
Yeah, you're right.
but as far as if you were to upgrade not your driving rig, but if you were to, you said that you race go karts. So, what
Uh
would
huh.
be the next class for you to upgrade to if you were to want to upgrade your racing? I mean, like you in real life.
On real life, um, probably, uh, you know, I I always like to, race a Formula car. Probably my if 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 I was getting into more racing, my first starting point would be Skid Barber,
Mm-hmm.
and and going up, Formula 3 and Formula 2. But I'm 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 past that already.
Formula Three, and Formula Two.
Yeah, my dad, and I'm from Argentina originally. I born in the United States, but my mom and my dad, they're from Argentina. When they get married, they moved to the United States. On those 8 years, they were living in Florida, Miami. My sister, my brother, and myself, all three born in the United States, and they decided to go back to Argentina when I was 2 years old. And I grew up in Argentina. And when I was 23 years old, the economy in Argentina was so bad that I tell my girlfriend, which is my wife right now, and you know, l- let's go to United States. I mean, I'm citizen. Like we can go, and if we can adapt, we come back. I mean, we are young. And 1987 is when I moved to the States. And since then, I never come back. And I got two kids. I got my business, and I'm happy where I am right now. But my dad, when in Argentina, when I was a little boy, he was racing Formula 2 national level in Argentina, and a few races that I remember Formula 1 national level, and and later on he was racing as a not as a driver, but as a co-pilot with a friend on a
Mm-hmm.
type of uh, uh, it's um, it's not an open wheel. It was like a NASCAR, but down there in Argentina they don't race an oval; they race in road course, and he died down for quite a few years until the economy started going bad, and that's when he stopped racing. So
Okay.
I got a little bit background on racing.
Yeah, I'd say. So just for the people, I'm streaming this, just so you know. Um, but just for the people that are watching, what you said that you own your own business. What is it?
I got an auto repair shop on European cars.
European
Um,
European cars.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, I got that business. I opened that business in 1993, and it's getting close to uh, 30 years, I think. Right? Yeah,
Wow.
something like that.
So is that like an upgrade shop, or is it just like a mechanical shop?
No, it's a mechanical shop. I mean, I do everything except body work. I do all mechanical, general repairs on the cars.
Okay. Cool. And how long have you been doing iRacing?
Um, I I started about a year and a half ago, probably, and I don't put as much time as I want to put on it. Um, Probably I put an hour and a half every day. Sometimes if I have a chance, and sometimes I skip a few days during the week. Now the basketball season start when it's a basketball game. I stay watching the game instead of going out to the garage.
Mm. Okay. So I'm kind of new to the whole iRacing thing. So as far as the seasons go and how that all works, can you kind of give me a little bit of a, a rundown on that?
Every season has 13 weeks, and every season, every class, it usually change the track configuration that you're gonna race. It's not every season you're gonna start with on the same track. They always change tracks around, and the first 12 weeks is pretty much this the season that give you um, um, the real racing
Mm-hmm.
against other people, because the week 13 is kind of fun week. I mean, everybody race, and there are races that they're not ranked. Like you can race with anybody, and they combine four different cars that are completely different to each other. And you can have a Formula One running with the Formula B, really big different speed, and it's a fun week to race. But you always have to look which one is ranked and which one's not, because if you are really close on your I rating, on your safety rating, you don't want to lose it up.
Right.
One thing I know, probably when you pass 3.0 on your license, you're ready to the next license, right?
Right.
But other than that, you need to perform a few races. Um, let's say you are on D license right now. You had to go above 3.0, and you had to race a few races with the D license to be able to qualify to go up on the license. But you can go up to the license before reach the end of the season if you able to go above 4.0. Uh,
4.0.
yeah, right now you are on two
Yeah.
point.
2.6 or something right now.
Okay, you got 2.6. If you can reach 4.0 or past 4.0 before the season end, you automatically go up the next license.
Okay, so for the next season.
For myself, I went up three licenses before the end of in one season. I went up three licenses because I went up from Rocky to D, and when I figured out how this shit worked, when I was in D and I jumped to C, what I did is because when I jumped to C, my license was uh, 2.9 or 3.2, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing you can do is, instead to race, you can do time trials. And when you do time trials, if you don't screw it up, you stay on the track for 30 minutes going around the track, and you don't have any, if you don't have any X, like the incidents on your run, you it give you safety rating, give me points for your license, not for the I rating, just for your license. And when I figured it out, I went to do a week or 2 weeks. I was doing like a four time trials, and I went up to about four, and I jumped to the next license again.
Hmm. Yeah, it was pretty difficult for me to get out of the rookie class, especially whenever I was running those Mazda fives,
Uh huh.
because those people, they go in there and they're brand new to it, and they're just banging the crap out of you.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. That's the reason. Yeah, as soon as you get into D license and you try try to do, um, the thing is, if you don't have any incidents, it's gonna give you safety rating, which is your license number. But let's say if you start fifth out of 10 and you finish third, you finish two positions above where you start, and that will give you I rating. It's- And the thing is, if you qualify and you start from the pits, and from your I rating that you gain qualifying, if you start from the pit, it goes all to 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 the trash. You go way all the way down, and you have to work your way up against door to the front to try to get as much I rating for you.
Mm-hmm.
And but the thing is, as higher you can get into your I rating, as you're gonna see the racing is getting cleaner between everybody because whoever had 2K of I rating, they don't want to lose that, and they're not gonna uh, do silly things to racing and lose I rating.
Right. So when you're out there and you're racing, are you actually racing or are you just trying to get around the track? I mean, and not really worry about your position?
Um, when when I'm racing the race, yeah, I mean, I try to go. Uh, depend. You know that when you sign up on a race, there are splits. They put you in different splits depend of your I rating.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in one split that you are the faster guy, and you start a race and you can just run away or be, kind of second and third, and kind of uh, um, without being chased really hard for people behind you because the one probably behind you they are slower. But when you put you in a split that is really equal the playing field, yeah, that's I always watch. Depend of what type of racing I kind of or either race kind of defensively, try to don't be passed, or I trying to go as far as forward I can. But and usually you want to try to run your race, try to be concentrated in your apex and everything. Of course, if you're racing and you try to pass somebody, you know, all that goes out of the window because sometimes you need to change lines and it's all really uh, no really uh, uh, it can you can predict what you're gonna do when you're racing somebody for position. You can start changing lines and your apex will going out off.
Right. Okay. So in the for an example, I was in the Formula V race, and I qualified for I think it was seventh position, and then I mean in that situation, seventh position. If there's only like 10 in that race, would you recommend starting out in the pits and working your way up or gridding?
Uh, on a rocket class, sometime probably I will start from the pits that to avoid any incidents on the start because usually uh, um, on a rocket class it could be a chaos on the start, and if you start from the pits, you can kind of avoid all the chaos and gain you know all the position that you lose because you start from the pit and maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, starting from the pit is not a bad idea when um, I would say Rocky, maybe D license also. You can try to do that too.
Okay, so even in the D class license, because I know that I was starting from the pits a lot whenever I was in the rookie class because of the fact that I would race and then I would just run my race and try to stay on the track as much as possible. and just let the other people spin out.
Yeah, yeah, that's a smart. I mean, these things. I talk to a lot of people that and that I I start knowing them through the air racing. Even I I I Discord with guys from Spain and from guys from Argentina, and I talk to them and say, there are guys that they're about probably 4K on safety rating or on I rating, and I tell him, and I can see their times they are way better than I can, you know, do, and they say the only secret on this shit is practice, 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 and practice.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that using the Sheet 29 steering wheel that they are way faster than me. I know because I watch a lot of streamers and they use the same steering wheel that you have, and they are hickey fast, man. They are fast. I mean, and sometimes the, the hardware that you have, and yeah, they can give you a little more feedback on stuff like that, but it doesn't make much difference if you're gonna be fast or not. You can be fast with the G29 or either with the DD2, DD1, or Pro Master or whatever you're gonna use.
Right. Yeah. It's all about actual skill.
Yeah, skill and practice. Yeah, I saw a video from one guy from it is on iRacing there is an ad on the site. They say BRS Vehicle Racing School,
Mm-hmm.
and on Twitch there's a few channels from the people that work there, and they have a whole room with like 10 rigs that that the people that work for that company use for race, and they there was a challenge with that guy, and he tried uh, I think same amount of lap with this equipment that he was using on his work, and the same equipment, not the same equipment, with the G29 steering wheel, and he was pretty much the same lap times.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, would you mind if I'm gonna flip the screen over to show our iRacing session
Okay.
running the Ferrari, and I'm just gonna, basically put the camera on you so we can kind of see how you go around the track a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna change it. My car exploded sitting on the pit. Then
Okay. All right. That's good. We got that. Okay.
okay, practice.
All right. So we've got the camera on you now. And kind of, for the newer people, kind of give us a little bit of an idea of what you're thinking as you're going into these corners.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I always try to find um, a spot that I use for reference for braking. I start getting the apex.
So one thing I notice whenever I'm watching other people racing is when they hit those apexes, they are literally half the car is off the track when they get to that apex, or when when they're accelerating out of that apex and they're going across the track to the other side of the track. They go to where, yeah, kind of like that, like where it's like half the car is off the track, half the car is on the track.
Uh huh.
I find myself like avoiding that because of the fact that it usually causes me to spin out if half the car gets on that grass.
Okay, no, no. If you get to the grass, it's gonna spin out. You always try to have your wheels at least on the top of the rumble strip.
Yeah, I really like the look of that car.
Yeah, slowly you're gonna find out where the car is, or where you can put the car that is not gonna, you know, spin out, and where you had to put the gas. Before myself, I was kind of heavy-footed, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
and I was spinning out. Even braking, uh, I find out that it's better to let go of the gas and start shifting down than try to go really deep on the turn, because sometimes you can carry more speed going to the turn if you get the car better position going into the turn. Oops, that's the turn I told you is kind of tricky.
That last turn?
Yeah, the turn that I spun out.
Oh, you spun out. Oh, okay. I guess we're getting ready to see that. That one right
Yeah.
here. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yes, sometimes they are the tail start going out and it's getting hard to keep it.
That's another thing with the G29. I find myself the car will throw the ass end out on me before I even know it. Um, and I think a lot of it has to do with, I can't catch that before it happens because of the fact that this is a gear driven. I think it's a gear driven.
I believe it's a yeah, gear driven.
Yeah. Does the direct drive, does it make it easier? Does it for you to correct before it actually happens?
It does. It does. It gives you a more clean feedback of what the car is doing. What I would remember what I was telling you, I found a guy that did the setup of this wheelbase, and after
Mm-hmm.
that, I really felt the car was really different on the car, or the way I was feeling the steering wheel. And after that, I feel. I mean, it's kind of um, weird to say, but I can feel like the tires gripping on the track.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I didn't feel with the other steering wheel.
So for somebody that's new to this and they're getting ready to come into it, can you kind of give us a little bit of an idea on your your shifting strategy whenever you're coming into a corner? Like, how do you determine prior what gear you think you should be in going around that corner if you've never done it before?
Well, what I do when I start a new track, I always, the bar that you have on the screen that show you, green or red.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I look the bar, and sometimes the pen I do a turn in second gear, and I see how that bar moving, to the green or to the more to the red or more to the green, and I try different gear, and I can see, oh, okay, I instead of second, I try third, and it goes to green. It goes faster, and I can make, and I'm making better time. And after that's the way I kind of adjust my shifting, because sometimes if you shift down one gear, even if you feel the car is more has more torque and it's more um, uh, easy to drive, but it's slower
Mm-hmm.
because with the higher gear it's going faster than.
Yeah, that's like that suggestion you made on that chicane on the Formula V. How I
Uh
was
huh.
taking it in second, and you suggested that I take it in third. My thought process on that was if I go down to second gear, I mean, because the way I was watching it, the RPMs were dropping down enough to where I would be in second gear, and that would allow me to accelerate a lot quicker out of it. But the third gear was actually faster, which I didn't really understand.
Yeah, because uh, you can carry more speed through the chicane on third gear than shifting down to second. You can with the second gear you may coming out a little bit more quicker out of the chicane, but
Mm-hmm.
if you do that chicane in third, you carry more speed, and on the end it's faster.
And that's kind of like the same thing you were suggesting when I was going into that first curve. You were telling me that instead of downshifting to third to stay in fourth, and then, going around the second curve, then downshift to third, so I have more
Yeah.
torque. Yeah. And yeah, it improved my lap time considerably. All right, so I am going to stop this stream, and George and I are going to go do some racing. So if you like what you saw, go ahead and click that subscribe button, hit that like button, and you will be notified when new content comes out. And come and check George and I out on iRacing. What was your last name again, George?
Montore.
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 Yeah, check him out on iRacing. Send him a friend request, and I'll tell you what, he's definitely improved my driving since I've known him. So I will talk to you all tomorrow, or is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow I'm doing another stream about 5 o'clock. So we'll talk to you then.